Okay, so this is my video explanation number 2. I'm going to start with question number 1. For question number 1, I was supposed to find how much the population increased. So I used this formula, um, and then from the word problem, I got my months, and then the population. So then I just plugged in the months, which is initially 0, and then 1900, and then I plugged it in using this formula into here, and then I solved for it, so I got 60. So my answer is the population is increasing by 60 per year. And then problem number 2, I have to graph the problem. So then the -4 is going to be my y-axis, so I placed it on -4 right here, and then my slope is up to the right 3, so I went ahead and went up to 1 2, to the right 3 1 2 3. So I put the other point right here, and then I did the same thing again, so I went up to the right 3, and then I just connected the dots, and then that's what I got. And then for number 3, I went ahead and used the same formula right over here to find which hotel was more affordable. So I plugged in the points that I got for the amount of they stayed, and then the price that the hotel was charging. So I plugged it in, and for Hotel A, I got 100 as my answer. And then for Hotel B, I did the same thing. I got 95. And then for Hotel C, I did the same thing. I repeated the steps. I got 120, so I just subtracted 550 from 310, and then 4 minus 2, and then I divided this, and I got that. Then for Hotel D, I did the same steps as all the other 3. I got 110. So I came to the conclusion that Hotel B would be the cheapest, which is $95. So Hotel B charges the lowest deposit of $95. Okay, so for number 4, I was supposed to find the linear regression using the calculator. So I actually did this problem following along the chapter 4 notes that you provided for us. So I used these steps in the calculator. So first, I did second, and then I did stat, and then I needed to make sure I had L1 and L2. So then I inserted it. Well, I did it a lot for other problems, so it's kind of a mess right now, but I did it that way. And then I need to make sure that I have my L1 and my L2 separated, and that I plot exactly the points that I was given. For example, these, but the other ones that belong to this problem. So then I inserted it in my calculator, and then I put enter, zoom, and I put zoom stat to get the plot, which is not the right one because I did another problem, but the original one for this problem is going to be this one. And then it wanted me to write it in the AX, so I go to calc, and then I do linear regression AX plus B, enter, and it gives me the A and the B, and then I just write it out, and then that's what my answer is for this one. For number 5, it wanted me to provide the break-even point. So what I went ahead and did was I provided the C, and then I provided the R. So my C was 1.4x, and then the R was plus 200 equals 1.5x. So then I subtracted 1.4 on both sides. That gave me 0.1x. I brought down the 2,000. I divided 2,000 on both sides. I got 20,000 equals x. So my answer is they have to sell 20,000 to break even. Okay, number 6. I needed to graph the two equations, which gave me a parabola. The reason why this one is solid is because it's a less than equal to. So whenever it's less than equal to, it's going to be a solid line, and whenever it's just less than or greater than without the equal sign, it's going to be a dotted line. And the reason why I shaded right here, it's because this is where they connect the two equations. So the way that I got this is I graphed it in my calculator. I inserted this equation into my calculator and it graphed it like this. But also another way I was able to figure it out was by getting the roots. So the root for this one is x plus 4 and x equals x minus 2. So I just did x plus 4 equals 0 and then x minus 2 equals 0. And then I subtracted 4 on both sides, so that's why I got x equals -4. And then I added 2 on both sides, so I got x equals 2. So my 2 points was -4, 2. And then I graphed it. So I went to the left 4 times and then down up 2. So my point was right here. And it's a U shape because I have a negative right here in the beginning. So whenever it's the negative, it's like a sad face. So that's why it's going down. And then for this one, it's a positive. So it's going to go up like a happy face. And like I mentioned before, it's going to be a solid line because it's equal to. And then for this one, I did the factor method, which got me x plus 6 and x plus 4. And then I FOILed, which gave me this equation. And then in order to check my answer to make sure I was on the right track and doing it correctly, checked to see if they match. So this matched my original equation, so I knew I was on the right track. And then I got my roots because I did the x method. So I equaled it to 0 each. And then I subtracted 6 on both sides. So I got x equals -6. And then for this one, I did the same thing. I subtracted 4 on both sides and I got x equals -4. So my 2 points was -6 and -4. So I went ahead and grabbed this one. I went to the left 6 times and then I went down 4. So I grabbed my other point right here. Okay, the final one is number 7. This one was also a calculator problem. For this one, I had to do the augmented matrix 3x4. The reason why it's 3x4 is because it's 3 lines, but 4 variables, 4 numbers with variables. So the first column is going to be my x, then my y, then my z, then the total of all of them put together. So I went ahead and plugged this into the calculator line by line. Like I mentioned, I used the calculator for this one because I was told to. And the way that I was able to do the steps was through the notes that were provided for chapter 7. So what I went ahead and did was in the calculator, when I used it, I went to the reef A on the calculator, which would just solve this for me and it would give it to me right here. So problem number 7 wanted me to write this out for the B section. So I just copied it from the calculator onto the paper. And then my solution was 7 for the first row, my x. And then the second row was -3 for my y. And then the third row was 2 for my z. So my solution is 7, -3, 2. And that's it. Thank you.